In January, we got the second iteration of the Selkirk Core Strike series, which included the Core Strike 2.0 and Core Strike Pro 2.0, the latter of which I did a video review here on YouTube for. And I will not stop you if you want to go back and check that out. But now we have a new Selkirk Legacy series, and to keep it simple, it's meant to blend performance with off-court style. There's the Selkirk Legacy Classic, which is the more casual looking of the two in the series. Then there's the Selkirk Legacy Pro, which I was blessed enough to receive ahead of its release for testing. Quick disclaimer, even though Selkirk sent the Legacy Pro for review, just keep in mind they had no advanced look at the review. They didn't try to influence the review. All views are my own. Selkirk is introducing a new outsole compound made from cast polyurethane called Infinite Grip. That's with the P, not to be confused for Infinite Grit with a T. That's something separate that Selkirk uses on their pickleball paddles, although they do serve similar purposes. I'm somewhat sold on the durability of the Legacy Pro outsole, as I've surpassed double-digit hours of play in the Legacy Pro, and outside of some minor wear around the edges and fading of the micro texture, the pair almost looks fresh out of the box, and that's saying a lot since it's actually a translucent outsole used on these pairs. Traction performance was good in most areas, but there were some that it wasn't perfect in, if I'm being honest. This modified herringbone and hexagon tread pattern is a little flat, and it's also a little slick. Thicker, flatter outdoor style traction like this is great for durability. However, when the compound is a little slick, it's going to require more precise footwork. I noticed if I didn't plant hard on the balls of my foot, occasionally I would slide out on certain movements. I'd say it happened a little less than a handful of times, so I'm not mad, but I think it's a valid critique and something to be mindful of for players that are interested in either of the Legacy series, since they use the same tooling. Actually, younger players with good body control can use this to their advantage and slide out for tough gets. So depending on your outlook, it's not even really a wholehearted critique. I like the slight change made to the underfoot cushioning system from the Core Strike Pro 2.0 to the Legacy Pro. The Legacy Pro feels slightly lower to the ground for increased court feel, but in my opinion, it's more comfortable, which is great for something that feels like a thinner setup. Something I noticed from the time I held this sample back in July at Coeur d'Alene, where Selkirk is headquartered, is that the midsole felt softer and a little more responsive to the touch, and it still feels the same with this release model. I asked one of the co-founding Barnes brothers if supercritical foam was used in the midsole, and the answer was a simple no. But what I didn't know is that the stock insole that comes with the Legacy Pro would actually be made from a supercritical foam. So these two insoles look identical, but one feels slightly denser and what we call bottomed out. The other has more of a lively, springier feel, and that one was put through a supercritical process. This is basically taking something like a TPU, or in this case, I believe an EVA foam, and infusing it with a gas like nitrogen. The result is a lightweight, longer lasting foam with enhanced energy return, and I can tell the difference stepping foot into the Legacy Pro. Some may not feel or care about this, but it was a subtle upgrade that I appreciated. The upper is a mix of textiles and synthetics, making it retro in aesthetics, but modern in function. To give more detail on the material, Selkirk is introducing what they call a high abrasion translucent mesh, pretty much what I call a ripstop mesh. It has that tear-resistant grid-like pattern that you will find on ripstop, so it doesn't stretch like a normal textile. It keeps you contained to the footbed on harsher cuts and changes the direction. This stuff is also super breathable and is reinforced by some TPU overlays in the forefoot and a little bit more textile paneling towards the rear. My one critique is that the TPU of the toe ran is a little thick, making it a little more structured, almost overly structured in my opinion. It makes it feel a little boxy around the toes, which my brain kind of perceives as being more bulky, even though it's not really that bulky. I don't know if that makes sense or not, hopefully it does. But once I get moving around in the shoe, adrenaline goes up. I don't really notice it at all, so even though it's not my favorite uses of these materials, the upper gets the job done. I went true to size in the Selkirk Legacy Pro, and I'm satisfied with that decision. It gives more of a relaxed fit without compromising security, which is something that I can appreciate in a pickleball shoe. I don't enjoy every pickleball shoe with a relaxed upper. Something like the Franklin ACV Pro is a little bit too roomy for my liking, but the Selkirk Legacy Pro is a go. So if you prefer a good relaxed fit or you have a wider foot, I think true to size is probably the best option for Legacy Pro sizing. I typically prefer a system where the lace cables extend all the way down into the footbed. To me, that wraps the foot better. But I have to say I'm pretty cool with the lockdown on this shoe from heel to the midfoot, so can't really complain too much if it works. The midsole extends out like an outrigger, making it a stable platform underfoot. I didn't experience any issues with rolling over the footbed, and to bring it back to the heel real quick, there's a cat's tongue like pad that's on the back of the shoe, and that helps to reduce heel slip. The internal heel cup is okay, but I didn't have any real issues with it, so I'll take that as a positive as well. The Selkirk Legacy Pro is a solid pickleball shoe, even if it's not perfect. While I prefer the more fluid, broken-in feel of the Court Strike Pro 2.0, I can't deny the added benefits of durability and what I perceive to be a slightly upgraded cushioning system. Performance-wise, the Legacy Pro leans heavier towards singles and tournament frequenters in my opinion, but it also casts a wide net, especially going for the off-court style, so it'll work for more casual players as well. If you're interested in the Selkirk Legacy Pro, it does retail for $158. I will leave a link down in the description box below. That is an affiliate link, so if you decide to purchase, that may help me out a little bit. If so, I definitely appreciate it. I also appreciate you taking out some time and checking out this video. That does a lot for me. I also hope that it was helpful in some way. Until the next video, y'all take care out there wherever you are. Thank you. Have a great one. I'm out.